All right, Gardenville students, I've had to get a little bit creative with how I do this video because I can't do it just on Blackboard Collaborate. So hopefully after I do this video, I'm able to get it uploaded for you guys. So I wanted to read another story. I recorded one for you earlier today, and hopefully you'll get to read that. But since I want to be able to tell you a little bit about some bees and some other things that I have here around my house, I thought it would be appropriate to read a book about some bees. So that's what we're going to do today. I want to show you a couple of things that I use when I am checking on my hive, and I'm going to take you on a little journey to go look at that a little bit later too. So the first thing I want to show you is a little piece of honeycomb. So this is what is inside one of my hives on the frame, and look how thin it is. You can actually see through it, but every single one of those little cells is the same exact shape, and these cells are where they lay their eggs, where the queen lays her eggs, and it's also where they might put honey or nectar and turn it into honey, or pollen, which they're going to use for food. So you'll get to see some of this. I also have something up here called a smoker. And so what I do is I put something inside here that will burn, kind of like a little tiny fireplace inside here. And then when I puff this, it pushes air out. And what the smoke does is it doesn't really make the bees sleepy, but it makes them a little bit calm. It makes them a little bit more relaxed and not so wound up when I'm trying to go into the hive, which is a good thing because I don't want them trying to swarm around and think that I'm there to hurt them when I'm really just there to check on them. So I will get into more of that later, but I just stepped out here into my greenhouse. I'll show you a couple things with my garden things. I just popped out here so I had a quiet spot so I can read you a story. So this is called Bee and Me. I love this story. It's by L.J. McGinnis, and that's our author. And the illustrator is Heather Brown. So one wrote the words and one drew the stories. Drew the pictures. So in this story, I'm hoping you'll be able to see it. You can actually see a little bit that it moves. I'm not sure if it'll come up and show up quite right in over video. It says, whoops. Into the garden bumbled a bee. She zigzagged through flowers and blooms on our tree. She tumbled, she buzzed, she rolled, and she fluttered, gathering powder, the color of butter. Do you know what that powder was that's the color of butter? It's pollen. And pollen can actually be a lot of different colors. Hopefully I'll be able to show you some of that today. Pollen can be like a golden color, like yellow or orange. Sometimes it has a greenish color, and sometimes it looks more like pinkish purple. It's pretty cool. When all of a sudden my dog chased a bee who dashed towards my house. A safe place to flee. But is that really a safe place to flee? What do you think? I don't know. It's hard to tell, but on here you can make the dog run. Can you see him moving if I'm kind of going like this? Hopefully so. I ran for the window and shut it up fast, but the bee was already inside of the glass. Buzz, buzzed the bee. Oh no, I yelped back, afraid that the bee might launch an attack. Do you think he should be afraid of that bee? Look at this little bee. Can you see him moving now? I think that bee is just as scared as he is. I don't think the bee is going to launch an attack. Have you ever had a bee get stuck in your house? Don't be scared. Well, you can try to help get him outside. But just as I hid, I took one final peek, and to my great surprise, the bee started to speak. So we know this story isn't real, because do bees really speak? No. So this story is fiction, but it's about a real thing. Please help me, said Bee as I peered through the crack. I'm in a big hurry and I have to get back. So he's wanting to get back to going from flower to flower and go back to his hive. My friends are all busy, working hard at the hive. They wiggle, they waggle, they jiggle and jive. We're good for much more than just honey, you see. We bees help the flowers, the bushes and trees. We gather their pollen and spread it around, the only way to keep them growing, we found. If it weren't for us bees, why the plants would be gone. No more peaches, no cherries, no trees to climb on. There'd be no more apples, no flowers to smell. Still you humans decide you don't like us that well. And then from her eye came a big shiny tear. We just want to help, but you all run in fear. But now that I've met you, I'm not scared anymore. I know lots about bees, way more than before. See if you can see this. From now on, I'll be much nicer to you. I'll never again swat at bees with my shoe. Then I opened the window and away she flew. See you soon, said Bee, and got on with her day. Can you see them waving their hand? Here you go. And here's the bee with his little wings just flapping so he can fly away. So here is some fun facts that our book tells us at the end of our story. Girl bees work outside gathering pollen and nectar. Boy bees do all of their work inside the hive, and that is true. When I open up my hive, I will show you. You will see worker bees, which are the females, the queen bee, which is a female, and the drones, which are boy bees. There are so many facts here, but I'll share one more. Let's see here. In a single trip, a bee will visit between 50 and 100 flowers. She'll come back to the hive carrying more than half her weight in pollen. That's a lot. So, we will take a look at my hive today. I will show you some things, and hopefully you will be able to see some of what we just talked about. Okay? Awesome.